Thanks for staying with us, people. You are welcome to Wake Up Nigeria. Now, we have quite an interesting book right here for review today. And we have Moyosore Dada. She is a passionate and committed to the development and protection of children and teens. She holds a master's degree in media communications from the Pan Atlantic University in Nigeria. And this morning we are reviewing her book, The Child, the Parent, and the Pervert. Good morning.
Good morning.
Moyosore.
Yes, please. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. How are you doing this morning?
I'm very well. Yourself?
Great. So The Child, the Parent, and the Pervert tells a story about your experience growing up as a child and how you had to experience sexual abuse. Talk to us as to at what point, what was the defining moment in your life when you decided to put your story into a book?
Okay, so the defining moment for me was sometimes around 2009.
Okay.
So I was opportune to be a house fellowship leader in my ministry, where I minister to children. Then I discovered that one of my children that comes to me, talked to me, another kid talked to me that particular girl was being abused. So this girl we are talking about, she was barely 8 years old. So I'm like, wow, is this thing still happening? Is it still rampant? I went through this phase at a time in my life. I was abused. How come children are still being abused in this time when we have social media? People are like, we should create more awareness. Yes, we should create more awareness. People have been creating awareness from time, but we should push this thing further, make sure it gets to the people that needs to hear it. So I think one of the ways of doing that is me not keeping my experience myself. I had to make use of use the pain, you understand? So I had to counsel the girl, and from there I discovered even some of the other girls in that area had similar experience. And so I realized once they have someone to talk to, they start opening up and they start talking and say, me too. So I'm like, wow, okay, so let's do this and let's go viral with this and let people know that this thing is still happening in this society and we have to protect the children.
Let's talk about the perverts on the prowl. That's the first chapter of your book. And talk to us about that particular chapter.
So that particular chapter, Pervert on the Prowl, I'm basically saying that they are everywhere. And most often than not, research has shown that there are people that are close to the child or the family. In fact, there's a research that 90% of the perverts are people that are close. So they come in as friends, come in as house help, as drivers, relatives, teachers. Some even come as priests, pastors, and the
religious leaders.
Yes, and most times there are people that these children look up to. So they gradually lure these children into this. So that's why I said the pervert on the prowl. Most times parents don't even know what's happening. They just trust them, and then they just don't know that there's someone dangerous in the environment, that who they thought to be a friend, a guardian, or an help, you understand, is actually crawling around and having some dangerous interaction with their children.
We've talked a bit on the kids and what they're experiencing and what they're going through, in regards to sexual abuse. Now let's focus on the parents, the role of the parents. I know this book is dedicated to your parents. I'm hoping, and I'm sure I would like to think that they played a huge role in helping to mitigate what you were going through at the time. Talk to us about, the role your parents played and the role parents should play, in helping to, mitigate sexual abuse, in their children.
So basically, I looked at what could my parents have done to help the situation if they knew. Somewhere in the book, I said children are secret keepers. As kids, some children don't talk.
Yes.
You'll be shocked. Why some will talk, but some you need to have a certain kind of conversations with them for them to talk. So the book is written based on what could my parents have done to make life easier for me if they knew what to do. And the first thing we are looking at here is have this conversation with your child, educate them, let them know their body part and and boundaries. I was talking to a teacher a few days ago, and she was telling me about curriculum that they have in their schools and everything, government approved. But she said, Moyo, this still boils back to the home. So we need to teach children, let them understand their body parts and let them know boundaries. That's the first thing we are looking at.
Okay.
Yeah, what parents can do. Secondly, encourage speak up. I'm an advocate of, well, be friend to the child, but I've heard other people say, no, your child is not your friend. So I don't want to argue that, but have a relationship that
you can easily communicate
that
with
they are
child.
free with you, free enough to tell you as soon as you come back for work that say, Mommy, the driver touched me here, or this touched me here, or this happened. You understand? We read online about an 8-year-old girl who was even being molested by the teacher, and she was going back home every day and never saying anything. I wasn't saying anything to my mom because she was loving, she was caring, she was a provider. Both of them were fantastic parents, but nobody ever, they didn't sat me down. Do you understand? To say, they didn't sit me down at any point and say, this is your body part or this, nobody should touch you there. I didn't have that kind of relationship. So we are looking at where parents can have robust relationship with the children, balance it up, where they are free enough to walk up to you and tell you some certain things, knowing that they will not be smart or blamed for it. Yeah.
We have to wrap this up quickly. Let's talk about joining the fight against sexual child abuse.
Okay, thank you so much. So joining the fight against sexual abuse, basically saying all hands on deck. This is everybody's responsibility. It is not one person's responsibility. The government parastatals, the educational system, which is the school. We're talking about the religious centers. And then we're taking it back to the home. Everybody be on the alert. And how do we do this? If you parents, you are able to educate your child at home. At church, let's have times we talk about these things. We educate the children, we educate parents. In the mosques too, the same thing. And all hands on deck. Let the government parastatals create policies
that protects children.
Thank God for Lagos State, we're doing a lot here, but let's create policies that makes it easy for people to report. I've seen a mother that said, well, I'm not wasting my time with reporting this because people will blame me, they will stigmatize me. If they are not stigmatizing me, if I go to this place to report, I will be made to, I'm asked to do this, to do that, things I can't afford, it will drain me again. So let's make this thing easier for parents. Let's educate them. So that's about all hands on deck. Everybody be on the alert. And when we create awareness about this thing, when we have seen a lot of adults that were abused and they are not talking about it. All hands on deck also means you
we should encourage people to talk about their experiences. Thank you so much. There's so much packed in this book, and it's such an inspiration, you know, to a lot of people going through what they're going through. And it's a must-have for every home. Thanks for these gifts. Thank you. And that's it on our book chat for now, The Child, the Parent, and the Perverts. You also know that if you know anyone around you who's going through any sexual abuse, they can also reach out to the Domestic Sexual Violence Response Team in Lagos. You just Google it, all the information and how to reach out to them is right on there.